Welcome to your Pilates Reformer workout. Today we're going to do a full body workout in which we challenge the core in different positions. So we really want to focus on stability of your whole trunk as you move through space in your life. Super good for you, important for everybody, no matter your age and ability. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It's a no-brainer. I post new workouts all the time. And if you'd like a little something extra special, please sign up for my membership. I have over 85 exclusive workouts, weekly workout plans, lots of fun challenges like a variety of props, stretching, restorative, bonus mat content, all that good stuff. Click the link in the description box down below and I will see you there. To begin, we'll be on 3 heavy springs and 1 blue spring. Your headrest will be up to begin. And while you're getting situated, it is, once again, absolutely freezing in New York. I think it was 11 degrees Fahrenheit when I woke up, which is not enough degrees. Let's place our feet wide on the foot bar. Get your spine into a nice neutral position. Arms relaxed down by your sides. Big breath in. Exhale. Extend the legs, moving the carriage away. Keep the knees wide, bend the knees, bring the carriage back in with control, moving smoothly and slowly as you come back in. We're going to flow in and out for another 6. And with our neutral spine here, we want to make sure that we're not overcorrecting into an overarch. We want the rib cage heavy, the bottom of the sacrum heavy, like your tailbone, or the space right above it is an anchor down to the mat. And then everything else is sort of neutral and natural in between. And a nice little trick for bringing the carriage in with control is really focus on pressing the feet into the foot bar as the knees bend and you come in, really feeling that resistance of the feet pushing into the bar as you come in. Next time you press away, bend your knees halfway in. We're going to take our little pulses up and down, just moving the carriage back and forth a few inches. Good, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, move away. Bend your knees, come all the way in. Good, bring the feet to the center of the bar, hip distance apart. Arches of the feet on the foot bar. Now we want the arch or the center of the foot to hug the bar. So we want the heels pressing slightly under and the toes curling over the top like you are a bird on a perch. Spine still nice and neutral, ribs heavy. Exhale, press away. Bend your knees to resist the springs. Come on in. And return. Good, come on out. And bring it in. 6 more. I have to disclose I'm so sore today. Before I had my daughter 5 years ago, before I was pregnant with her, around the time I was just starting to teach, this was like my first year or 2 of teaching, I was taking this class at the studio where I trained and where I teach now, Pilates Habitat. It's called Acro Pilates, and it's all of the Cadillac repertoire hanging skills. It's so fun. I did it all the time. I was so strong and so mobile. And then I had a kid and I had a bunch of challenges. But let's do our little pulses. I'll keep yakking at you. I did it for the first time this past weekend with my buddy Move With Sarah. She's a great classical teacher. I'll link her up below. We're still pulsing. And oh my God, it was so fun, but I was very challenged. This was 3 days ago. I'm still feeling it in my thighs. Holy moly. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale. Extend your legs. Bend your knees. Come all the way in. I'm curious, what's the most sore you've ever been in your life? I would love to hear about it down below in the comments. I love those stories. Heels to the foot bar. Flex your feet, reaching your toes for your nose. Arms down by your sides. Big breath in. Exhale. Drive the heels into the foot bar. Resist the springs as you come back in, pressing your heels firmly into the bar. Need to adjust a little bit. Pushing away, extending the legs, bending your knees, coming all the way back. So we really want to feel like the toes are reaching for your nose the entire time. So we really work on ankle flexion in this position. Now I'll answer my own question that I want you to answer in the comments, but I think the most sore I've ever been in my whole life was, as many of you have probably heard from me before, I grew up dancing, was an apprentice to a local company, all that jazz. But I took a break from dancing, ballet specifically, and went back to it in my 20s, and holy moly, for about 4 days after, my thighs were so sore I was having trouble walking upstairs. It was rude. So I'm happy to have found Pilates. It's a little kinder to the body for me. After this next one, we're going to come halfway in, find those little pulses again. So really driving the heels into the foot bar, up and down, back and forth. You've got 5. If you want more thighs, more quads, come a little further in. If you want more glutes, go a little further out. Pick your poison. And last one, extend the legs all the way straight. Bend your knees, come all the way in. Whoops, except for close your stopper with control if you can. Let's take a little spine twist, send the knees over to one side. Eyes go in the opposite direction. Good. And switch. Good. Hopefully feeling a nice little low back stretch here. Good. All right. Feet to the outer corners. We're going to go for our pelvic lift. Just really warming up the core here. Now that we've gotten through our footwork, we'll get into some bigger, more challenging movements in a bit. Arches to the outer corners. Knees roll wide, rotating through the hips. Make sure your headrest is down, pretty please. Arms by your sides. Big breath in. We're going to lift our hips just a little bit up off the mat. So we want to be able to fit one fist, top to bottom, under your sacrum, basically that lowest part of your back right above your butt, and lower down. We're lifting and lowering, really trying hard to keep the carriage still. Now we have a pretty heavy spring load on, so it may be challenging to keep the carriage still, but we do have a good amount of support. If you feel like it's pushing really far back, try to aim your feet a little bit more on top of the foot bar rather than in the front, if that's helpful to you. And please, truly do use your hand to check that height, because we don't want to be lifting up to a full bridge at this time. That full bridge where the hips are fully lifted, much more glutes. What we want to zero in on here in this little baby bridge is your deep core. So we want to be hitting basically the deepest part of your abdominals in that zone, right above your pubic bone and right in between your hip bones. So if you're not feeling it there, if you're feeling mostly glutes and thighs, it's okay. But imagine like you've got that industrial strength of rubber band, that belt pulling your hips towards each other, toward the center of your abdomen. And we want to take this slow and controlled. Both hips lifting evenly, up and down. And in between each one, I'm not flopping down, using power or momentum to get up and down. Everything is controlled, or at least I'm aiming for everything to be controlled. We've been doing these for a while. I want to do 4 more. So I think these are really great for finding that deep connection. Sometimes it takes several reps, for me at least, to start to feel it in the right spot. Now lift up to that hover, check your sacrum height. Make sure you're just about a fist above the mat. Hold it there. Extend your legs long. Bend your knees, come all the way in, keeping your hips at that little low hover. We stretch the legs and bend your knees. Now if you feel this in your lower back, you may be going into a little bit of an arch. So if you feel that pinch in this zone, you can take a little tuck under with the pelvis, or if it's really bad, it's okay to put the hips down, but you won't get that same lower abdominal connection. Try to maintain that sensation of that pulling inward toward the midline. And not for nothing, I do feel quite a bit of glute and thigh work here. That's okay, but we just don't want to lose that or emphasize that at the expense of the core. 2 more, please. And last one. Good. Hold in this little hover. The carriage is not quite to the stopper. We pulse the hips up and down, not quite all the way down and not much further up than that fist height. 4 more. 3, still zeroed in on the lower abs as best as possible. Last one. Lower down. Nice work. Close the stopper if it's not stopped yet. Spine twist once again. Knees to one side, gaze goes to the other. You can let your top hip lift. Just breathe into any tight spots in your back. And exhale, let those muscles relax. Other side. Knees to the opposite side. Imagine air filling into your back space here. And then as you exhale, feel any tension there start to melt away. Very nice. Okay. We will slowly, carefully roll up. We will change our springs and get set up for the next one. I'm going to remove my foot bar for this Balanced Body IQ Reformer. That is how we get the equivalent of placing it down. If you can lower yours, please do. We're going to place on one heavy spring and one light spring. Your headrest can come up if you like to. We will reach over, grab the straps wherever they may be. Once we have the straps, we're going to keep hold of them, lie down on your back. Feet will come to the platform or the sandpaper. Straps will go into the palms. We're going to reach the hands up over the shoulders. Now, we want to have the carriage away from the stopper, feet on the platform. We don't want the fingers way back here past the shoulders. We also don't want them too far forward. We really want to try to see if we can get them right over the shoulders, or just about. Roll the collarbone wide so that the shoulders are in contact with the mat. And we're going to keep this pressure through the straps. Raise one leg up to tabletop. Place it back down. Keep everything still aside from that moving leg, alternating sides. Now you can do this one with a fully neutral spine, bottom of the sacrum heavy, if that works for you, as long as you're not popping your ribs up. For me, I'm kind of working on some core connection right now. So an imprint is feeling better for me, and that is more of a flattened lumbar spine. But really, whatever works for you is fine. If you can stabilize in the neutral spine, that's ideal. Good. We're going to continue on 3 more, and then we'll start to add some seasoning to this. And switch. Exhaling as we bring the leg up. And this is slow and steady. We're not picking the leg up really fast and powering through it. Good. Now, keeping that pressure in the palms, just checking your position. We're going to raise the right leg up to tabletop. Now the hands really need to support. Left leg comes up, right leg goes down, left leg goes down. Now we start that whole thing on the other leg. Left leg up, right leg up, left leg down, right leg down. Again, right up, left up, right down, left down. Switch left, right, left, right. Let's do 2 more sets. Right up, right down, left down. Last time, left up, left down, right down. Take a quick break. You can close the stopper. Now you felt really what it means to stabilize the carriage with the core through those stationary arms. I hope this goes without saying, but if any of what's to come feels too intense for you, go back to either of the variations we just did. Those are all acceptable options. Rolling the shoulders back. We will come up to a tabletop position, and we're going to hold that. So right leg up first, left leg up first. We really want to make sure those legs are fully stacked in our tabletop. Knees over hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. Holding firm, elbows nice and straight. We're going to tap the right foot down into the well. Exhale, bring it up. Left leg goes down. Exhale, bring it up. So what we're not doing is extending the leg out. We're also not compressing the knee and just tapping the toe down. We have to send it far and away from us. So the knee and the thigh actually have to move forward, and we're keeping that right angle. Knee bend the whole time. You can probably hear in my voice, I'm feeling a little shaky. A little shaky. One more set. And switch. Good. Bring yourself back to the platform or the sandpaper. Take a quick breather. We're going to go for one more sequence because I think this is so good for building core stability. You will roll the shoulders back. Check your hands. Make sure they're right above your shoulders. Deep breath in. Let's start to stack ourselves into that tabletop position. Once again, shins parallel to the ceiling. We're going to extend one leg forward. Exhale, bring it right back in. Inhale, extend the opposite leg. Exhale, bring it right back in. Now I'm going pretty low. If you prefer to extend more on a 45-degree angle or even a little higher than that or a little lower, that's fine. But if you feel really stable, you can keep that extension pretty low. I really encourage you to use your gathering breath to engage the deep core automatically and relieve core pressure as that leg comes in. Now for the last few, if you'd like, you can try extending both legs out and back into tabletop. Only if the single leg felt pretty doable for you, should you try this one. We'll take another 2 of whatever you are doing now, and 1. Very nice job. I'm sweating. Feet down to the sandpaper. Lay out. Side to side, take any stretch you like. That was a doozy. All right, we have done deep core lifting the pelvis. We have done deep core stabilizing with the arms involved. Now let's get into a little bit of rectus work, more traditional Pilates exercises. So we will jam right into the 100. We will extend the arms right up over your shoulders. Give yourself a little space between the shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Right in that space that we started in, arms up over your shoulders, legs in tabletop. You have some options for this one. Before we get started, we're just going to press the arms down to get situated and connected to our lats a little bit more. Your options for this and the following. You can stay in this exact position, head down, legs in tabletop. If you want more, you're going to curl up with your head, neck, and chest. Other options for both this and the next series, you can extend one leg forward at a time, or you could even consider extending both legs out. Head can be up or down. Now that we're feeling a little connected to the lats, we will prepare for our 100. So in the 100, we will pause with the hands down by our sides, head in whichever position you like, legs in whichever position you like. We're going to inhale for 5, pump the arms, exhale for 5. Inhale, exhale, keeping the collarbone wide. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm going to extend my legs. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. And rest. Yeah, I couldn't keep talking at the end of that. So hopefully you kept the count with me. Rock your head side to side. Let's continue on. So one of my favorite things to teach these days is a leg lower and lift from the Pilates mat sequence with the hands and straps. Really, really a beautiful exercise for lower abdominals with a nice long lever of resistance through the legs. So I'll cue this one. I'll give you some peel backs and some options to make it more challenging if you'd like. So if your back feels pretty good, you're going to extend the legs up to the ceiling, arms up over the shoulders, Pilates V. If your back is not feeling amazing, diamond or frog position, okay? Whichever you choose. For all of us, we will press the hands down by our sides, no matter which position the legs are in. If you would like more upper abdominal work, you can also curl up, extending the arms, reaching through the middle fingers. Now, we will hold whatever position we're in, lower the legs down, exhale, bring them right back up. Inhale to lower down, keep your collarbone wide, exhale, bring it right back up. If you're in your diamond or your frog, you are in this position. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Good. So if you need to put your head down at any point, feel free, but the rules are you must keep your collarbone rolled wide, shoulders back, fingertips reaching forward. Inhale to lower down, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. So if you are lowering, lifting, it does not need to be the same range. Whatever you can accomplish, whether it's small or large, is what you're going to do today. Okay, my breath is telling me that's enough. Obliques for promise. Let's do obliques. Raise your arms up over your shoulders. Give yourself a little space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Get your hands up over your shoulders. Not far but behind, not far behind, not far in front. Tabletop, but with space between your knees, because we're going to have to put a hand in between that empty space. Neutral spine or imprinted, whatever works for you. We will start pressing our hand over the elbow. Frame your right leg. Left hand in between your thighs, right hand to the sides. Bring it back up. Frame your left leg, right hand between your thighs, left hand to the side of your leg. So keeping the head down just to start, we're getting the upper body coordination, and we're also trying to make sure that we have a moment to work on a few details. So if you feel like you're sending one knee toward you as the hands are moving, that's going to make this a lot easier and a lot less about the obliques. So keep the knees right over the hips. Also, make sure you're not bending the elbows or taking the outside hand too far away to the side. That's going to turn this into more of an upper body exercise, okay? So if this is feeling very doable, we have control of it, we're not using too much momentum or wiggling, we're going to curl up with the head, neck, and shoulders as we frame the legs. Much more about the obliques now, huh? It was before, but now we get a little more intensity. Slow and steady. I personally have a tendency to try to gun this one and run it. That's a little counterproductive. As you know, slower, more controlled, less momentum is generally what we want to focus on. One more. And switch. Beautiful job. Now, just place the straps down wherever they live. If you have pegs where your straps go behind your shoulder blocks, grab those. Otherwise, grab onto your shoulder blocks themselves. We will now start stabilizing the core while the pelvis begins to move around. This is a bit of a take on corkscrew. So, if you're familiar with that from the classical repertoire. So, tabletop position, elbows wide. We want the upper back to be in contact with the mat. Your ribs must be heavy down to the mat without gripping them down. We don't want them to be like compressed and collapsed. We just don't want them poking up. We want your upper back to make contact. Squeeze the inner thighs. We're going to send the legs over to the right. Exhale, bring them back to center. And if you feel more comfortable putting your headrest down for this one, since a hip is lifting, feel free to do that. Other side, exhale. Use your obliques, your side abs to bring it back to center. Now, you're going to be tempted to pop your ribs up, fight the urge. That's going to put strain on your back, take the work out of your abdominals, so it's a lose-lose. And you're also going to be tempted to let the top shoulder lift up and come away from the mat. That also will cause some strain and some problems. I just felt that in my upper traps, and good God, who needs more of that? So I like to inhale as I go to the side, exhale as I come center. Inhale, go to the side, exhale, come center. Again, and come center. Again, come center. You know what? I wasn't planning to do this, but let's try. Legs extended up and center. And center. It's sort of like I won't say corkscrew because we're not going around in a circle, but it's like half a corkscrew. Let's do one more set after this. So the top hip is still lifting, but now the range of motion is a little smaller. We have a little bit more demand on those obliques. And that's it. Thank you for trying that out with me. Just open your arms out to a T position or a goalpost with your hands resting on the frame. Feet down to the platform. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Beautiful job. Now we're going to curl up to sitting. We will do some feet and straps, but typically we do feet and straps with one heavy and one light spring. We're going to take a different take, and I'm going to evangelize for a minute. When we do feet in straps, a lot of the leg movements are very similar to things that you might do in Pilates mat. In Pilates mat, those movements are all about core. When we do them on reformer, sometimes we think about them as being very lower body. I want to do those same movements on reformer, but bring the focus and connection back to the core. We will still get some thigh action going on. So for this time, we will place on either one heavy or one light spring. I'm going to take the light spring. That said, if you know you feel very comfortable in these positions and you want to just do this without straps, do it without the straps, totally fine. So I've got the light spring. I'm going to lie down on my back. Once I'm there, I put the headrest back up. So just get a moment, kind of get the new lay of the land since you're used to probably a heavier spring load for this. Arms down, bring yourself into 90 degrees or your version of 90 where you still have the sacrum making contact with the mat. We don't have the hips peeling up. We will squeeze the inner thighs together, lower the legs down, feeling that core connection, raising the legs back up. Good. So just as we're kind of working on in that lower and lift with the hands on straps, here we get a very similar demand on the core. And we have a little support happening through the springs via the straps that are connected to the feet, but now we don't have the support of the hands and straps to work against. So we're going to continue on. You may take this at whatever range of motion makes sense for you. If you only have a few inches, just take a few inches. If you have the whole shebang without arching through the back, keeping the core really stable, do what you got to do. I'm not the boss of you, you're the boss of you. But I will give you some guidelines and some boundaries for what you might want to consider. My core is shaking. Let's do 2 more. It's so funny. I find this harder than lower and lift, no straps on the feet, hands and straps. Good. Let's make this the last one. Very nice. Now, we will take the classic leg circles. So we all know this one. We're going to open the toes at the top, draw the legs down, around, and together. I implore you, make this one a lot smaller at the outset than you might normally do. So in classical Pilates, typically we are taking the circles pretty small. I would say above 45 degrees or only down to 45 degrees. Start with that. If you feel like you have a lot of core connection and your pelvis isn't wiggling, you're not going into a big arch, you can consider going wider. But I think for many of us, this very classical range of motion is going to probably be enough. So you see what I mean? This is really a core exercise. We're not feeling the legs taxed. There we go. Not feeling the legs taxed so much. It's really more about the abs. I completely lost count. Let's reverse. My words are not wordy. So now we keep the legs together. We lower down to that low point, open just about as wide as the machine, and bring it back up. Lower down, open the feet, bring it all the way back up. Good. Lower down, all the way around and back up. Same rules apply. You can consider widening the circle a little bit if that feels good to you. It's all good by me. Just make sure you are fully stable in the core at whatever range you're doing before you start to expand it. Good. I'll make this the last one now. Good. Very nice. I don't know about you, but that one is challenging for me, but feels really great. I'm going to take a butterfly stretch. I don't have a ton of resistance. I'm doing the light spring here, so I'm actually holding onto the D-rings here, these metal loops, to give myself a little bit of traction with the legs. If that doesn't feel good, you can take your straps out of the feet, soles of the feet together, and your feet will go onto the platform instead, having closed the stopper. Good. When you're ready, let's take those straps off, close the stopper, and we will move on. We've done quite a bit of supine. Petit-lapin. All right, we have done quite a bit of lying down supine work. Let's move on to some seated work. We will challenge both the abs and the arms here. So headrest will be down. I put on one heavy spring. You could do a light spring if you want a little bit more core challenge for this one. I will put soles of the feet onto the headrest, sit up tall, grab the ropes above the hardware or above the knots. We will find a nice big seated position. I'm gonna move my hips as close to my heels as I possibly can. Arms will be straight. I have a little bit of space between my knees, but bring them as close together as you can without sinking into the low back here. Good, so take a big breath in, exhale, start to roll the pelvis under. So I'm really tucking the tail under, trying to get that low back to hit the bottom, or to hit the mat as I start to scoop back. I'm losing my words today. Collarbone is really wide. Big breath in. Now peel from the mid back up, low back. Keep that scoop. Imagine like you're rolling forward, and then sit up tall from the bottom of your spine up. I think I'm a little off center. Let me fix that. Okay. Once again, big breath in. Exhale. Start to roll from your low back first. Rounding back without shrugging the shoulders forward. Your collarbone can still stay wide even when your low back is flexing your low spine. Peel up, one bone at a time, slowly with control. Don't let the springs shoot you back into place. And again, good, rolling down. This time we're gonna hold that big scoop. Raise one leg up to tabletop, place it down. Shoulders are back. Other leg up, place it down. Alternating sides, and back. Again, and back. Good. Once again. Good. One leg up. Now both legs to tabletop. Right leg down, left leg down. Left leg up, right leg up. Left leg down, right leg down. You know this from the first sequence we did when the hands were in the straps, when we were laying down, right? Look, there's a method to my madness sometimes. Got to set you up for success, right? Good. Left leg up, right leg up, left leg down, right leg down. Now we roll up to sitting, one bone at a time. Whew. Give yourself a break. Serratus is probably really feeling that one after a moment. So now that we're set up to stabilize in that half curl position with both feet up, you're going to make a decision. We're going to do some arm movements. You get to decide. Do you want to keep the legs up in tabletop, or do you want to keep them down and on the headrest? Choose your own adventure. I don't have a horse in this race. Do what feels good. Let's sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back. Big breath in. We will all keep the feet down. Whoops. I need to scoot forward a little bit more. Roll your shoulders back. Big breath in. We're going to find that curl once again. Once we're there, we're going to start to rock the torso side to side. I need to move back just a little bit. So I'll show you what we're going to do before you commit to your leg position. We're going to tilt the shoulders, so the torso over to one side, back to center. Tilt over to the other side, back to center. If you go for your tabletop, same thing, but your legs are lifted. Knees over hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. I need to adjust my position just a little bit. I'm checking myself out and the monitor. That's why having a mirror or something to check your position can be supremely helpful. Good. We're going to take 3 more and switch. 2 and switch. 1 and switch. Back to center. Place your feet down or keep them up. Roll up to sitting. Place your feet down. And sit up tall, take a little break. Now we're going to place the straps into the hands. If you can take your tabletop, we're going to. Otherwise, you can keep your feet down. It's completely fine. We're going to start to do some bigger arm movements. So use that as your context for what to decide. So with the straps in the hands, palms facing inward, elbows straight, we're going to roll down to that half curl. Wherever you like to be, feet down or feet up. In that scoop, we're going to open the arms out to the side and back. We really need to keep the shoulders back, abdomen scooped in, so that we're really supporting through the core for this one. Now, if you're on a heavy spring and this feels crazy to you, take it down to the light spring. Totally fine. Or, always an option, to place the feet down. Good. Whatever you pick, we're going to do 4 more. This is 3. Last 2. And 1. Good. 1 foot down at a time. Roll up. Whew, just do a little side bend after the stopper closes. We'll do one more that'll get us a little bit into the back and arms yet again. So we will scoop back on the reformer, legs will extend. If it's better for you to cross your legs at the ankles, do that. Whatever works for you is fine by me. You can try this one fully seated or in a scooped position, whatever works. I feel like it might be nice for us to be fully seated. So I'm going to demo that version, but you're welcome to find a big scoop if you like. Arms will extend forward, palms facing each other. We really need to make sure that we're lifted fully out of the lumbar spine. So if you feel like you're sinking down here and the core is not active and the shoulders are rolling forward, I want you to feel like you're getting lifted from that low back right above your butt without popping the ribs up. So we'll do our best, right? Palms facing in. We're going to look over the left shoulder. We're going to raise the right arm on a diagonal, take the left arm down on a diagonal. Arms are going to be really wide. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Arms come forward. Still seated really tall. Other side. Right arm down, left arm up. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Arms come back. Really great for the upper back. Once again, we extend the left arm down, right arm up. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back. Good. Other side. Out on that diagonal. Really feel those muscles around your shoulder blades engaging. And return. I want to do 2 more each side. Cool. Left down, right up. Elbows reaching long. And bring it back. Other side. Hold. And back. Last set. Look over your left arm, right arm up. And back. Good. Right arm down, left arm up. Oh boy. And back. Okay, that's enough of that. Hold over your legs. Good. And just take a nice hamstring stretch here. Release through your low back if you need to. Good. All right, still seated. You can take the curl if you like. I'm kind of enjoying doing these in a nice tall spine. Palms face up. Seated, up, 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 up. Elbows are going to stay lifted. We bend the elbows. Bring the knuckles toward the nose. We extend the arms forward. Bend the elbows and extend the arms. So I'm really trying my very darndest not to extend the back. As I go back, I'm really trying to keep that rib cage heavy down toward my hips without dropping the elbows. I also see I have to focus really hard on keeping my shoulders rolled back here. Good. So lots of biceps. If you're on the light spring and this doesn't feel like much, you can always add more. Good. We're going to take another 5. This is 4. Keep supporting through your core. This is still a core exercise, even though we feel lots of arms. Last 2. And 1. Very nice job. Let's move on. Next up, we're going to do some chest expansion. I'm going to demo 3 different approaches. So everybody can start on the basic, and if something resonates with you, you can start to adjust. Seated on the heels to start, arms long in front of you, palms facing backwards. Roll your shoulders wide. We're going to press the palms back, slightly behind your hips. Hold the core really steady, and bring the arms forward. Big breath in. Exhale, press the palms back, hold, and bring the arms forward. Now, if this is feeling good to you, you're going to keep going seated with your hips on your heels, your bottom on your heels. If you need a little bit more, you're going to come up to kneeling, hips over your knees. We will stay kneeling. Press the palms back, hold everything still, and bring it forward. My kneeling folks, you're continuing on. Same movement. Your hips are just down to your heels. Press back, hold, shoulders back, and bring it back. Again, pressing back, using the core to stabilize in this new, more unstable position, and return. If that's working for you, continue on there. If you need more of a challenge, you are going to bring your right foot down to the headrest, kneel on your left leg. Bring your torso aligned over that left hip and left knee. Hands down by your sides. Everybody, in whichever position you choose, we are going to press the straps back, pushing through the hands, and bring it forward. So if you are with me in this kneeling position, you're going to notice you have to do a lot more core stabilization. Oh yeah, it's a doozy, but good. So again, with the goal of stabilizing the core in all kinds of different positions, which I am giving you because we have to do it all day long, we are hopefully achieving a little bit extra of that. Good. So after this next one, for my folks who are on one leg, we're just going to switch over to the other side. Everybody keep doing what you're doing. Single leg people, we've got left leg forward, kneeling, right hip over your right knee, arms pressed straight back, and come forward. So for the single leg folks, you're going to feel a very different demand on your body. And we know no one is symmetrical. So even if you're kneeling on both knees or seated with your hips under your heels, you may still feel very unstable on one side and less so on the other. Good. 2 more for everybody. Beautiful job. Last one. Press back, hold. We're going to look over the left shoulder. Center, look over the right shoulder. Center, bring it forward. One last time, press the hands back. Look over the right shoulder. Whoa, falling over. Look over the left shoulder. And back, very nice. Both straps into your hands. We're going to turn around, face to the front. We will try this one, kneeling. Hips down on heels, hips lifted, or we'll take the single leg options. So once again, I will demonstrate a couple reps in each position. You can choose what looks and feels good to you. So for the first one, roll your shoulders back. We want ribs over hips, shoulders over both of those. We will press the arms forward, keep the shoulders rolled back, and grow taller. Bring the hands back down next to your hips. Nice and simple. Hands forward. Feel your core supporting you. Bring the hands back down to your thighs. Now, if that feels a little easy, we're going to lift the hips up and lower down. So we want to feel the sensation of the hips, the whole body sitting straight up and straight down. If you want something even more than that, we're going to keep the hips up, just the arms move. Feel much more core this way and more demand on the arms. Good. I'm going to take a few more of these. This is 2. And last one. Good. Rest. Everybody come down for 1 second. For the next one, pick whichever setup works for you. Seated, kneeling, up and down, or just keeping the hips lifted. Either way, we will bend the elbows, skimming the torso. As we go back, exhale, extend. Skimming the body with the elbows, letting them come back behind the ribs, and exhale forward. So we really want to try to keep this position really tall. We don't want to be extending the back, sending the shoulders back. We want the ribs right over the hips, and the core must be stabilizing. Pretty please. Let's do 3. No matter which position you're in, trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back as the elbows go back. And last one. Good. Wherever you are, little circles with the arms out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return. Very nice job. Close the stopper. We'll move on. All right, just to round out our positions here, we're going to do a little down stretch and long stretch. Typically, I teach this one on a heavier spring load. Let's keep it on a single heavy spring for now, just to bring a little bit more core stability into it. I think that would be fun. We will go a little bit out of order from the classical order. We'll start with the down stretch because I like to go from kneeling onward. We will curl the toes under, place the feet up against the shoulder blocks behind you. And if you need knee pads, feel free to use them. I'm going to bring the shoulders right over the wrists, widen the collarbone, and lean the hips forward so you're in a big scoop while still supporting through the core. You're going to keep your gaze up, send the carriage back, draw the carriage forward. Think about your sternum rising up to where the ceiling meets the wall. So eyes are staying relatively high. The reason why I say that is the further the eyes go down to the floor, you'll see the more the tailbone has a tendency to stick out behind us. That really takes the work out of the abdominals for this one. So as best as you can, keep your shoulders back and keep your eyes at least somewhat lifted without craning your neck up to the ceiling. And last one. Very good. Now we will close the stopper. I changed my mind. We're going to do knee stretches in between two heavy springs, hands on the foot bar. This one we do on a heavy load. Push away, stick the tail out behind you. Bend your knees, bring them under your hips and a little bit forward, and press back. Bend your knees, bring them forward and back. Feel your lower abdominals really power on here. Good. And bend and extend. And bend and extend. If you're getting what you need out of this, stay there. If you want a little more challenge, put your right hand behind your hips as you bend and extend. 3 more. Last 2, feel their hip bones pulling together, and 1. Good, right hand to the bar, left hand on if you're going single arm, and out. Single arm, knees in and out. 3 more, stick your tail out behind you. Last 2, and 1. Both hands to bar, bend your knees, bring it all the way in, close the stopper, back onto that single heavy spring. Headrest will come up. If you have sticky grips on your socks or a sticky pad you can put there, you're going to put your toes on the headrest. If you do not, you're going to curl your toes under, place them up against the shoulder blocks. We do that because if you don't have the right traction on the headrest, you go flying, it will really hurt. Okay, long stretch, which is your moving plank. We can do it. Hands on the foot bar, toes curled under. Shoulders start over your wrists. Yes, I'm stalling. Come up to your plank. We want a nice diagonal line from your head to your shoulders, to your hips, to your heels. We're going to press away. Bring your carriage in. Press away. Bring your carriage in. This is much harder for me on just this red spring, just this heavy spring. So my range of motion is quite a bit smaller, but it's nice to have the extra challenge. Typically we do this on 1 heavy and 1 light. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Very good. Close the stopper. Good. Come down to your left knee. Place your right foot onto the foot bar. Stand up nice and tall. Feel this nice psoas stretch. Big breath in, exhale, release. Hold on to the bar, extend your right leg. Stick your right hip out behind you. You can extend your back leg a little bit. Take a hamstring stretch or almost a little bit of a split here. Bend both knees, bring them back in. Close your stopper. Right foot back down on the shoulder block underneath you. Left foot on the bar. Hips lean forward. Open your chest, lean your hips forward a little bit. Feel that nice psoas stretch on the right. Good. Square your hips off if they're not already. Extend your left leg forward. Bring your chest a little closer to your knee. Stick your left hip out behind you. And if you'd like to extend your back leg a little bit more, find that nice split. Bend your knee, bring it in. Good. And extend back. Bend your knee, bring it in. Close the stopper. And you are all done. Thank you so much. Great job today. I'm tired, so I'm betting you're tired too. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I post new workouts all the time, and please sign up for my membership. I have so many exclusive workouts, lots of cool prop work, weekly workout plans that I post to the community section every single week. Restorative, stretching, all that good stuff. The link is in the description down below. Thank you so much to all of my channel members. I could not do this without you. So appreciate your support. Extra special thanks to the folks who have been with me for 6 months or more, who are really benefiting from the variety and extra challenges of this program. You guys are the best. And super duper extra thanks to the folks who have been with me for over a year, some of you almost 2 years, which, wow, I appreciate so much. Thank you all again. I'm so grateful to have you, and I will see you next time.